Now, this is what I've been promising all day. It's Carlos Zarate against Alfonso Zamora. Sit back and enjoy this. I'll speak to you after. This is classic. This story is from a sport rich in fairy and horror tales and nights in history that will never be forgotten. Trust me on that. It's boxing, and I want to take you back to a night in the 70s in Los Angeles. It was a decade when it is said champions were forever. But this is a fight that you have probably never heard of. No Ali or Monzon here. The Inglewood Forum was not a venue for the faint-hearted. This was a time when blue-collar guys went to the fights. It's a time before the Vegas crowd sucked the soul out of the glorious old game. The night is April 23, 1977. In the ring, two unbeaten little Mexicans. They were 119 pounds of pure terror. That's 8 stone 7 in their wet socks. Carlos Zarate was the WBC bantamweight champion of the world, unbeaten in 45 fights. 44 of his victims had been knocked out. Alfonso Zamora was the WBA bantamweight champion of the world, unbeaten in 29 fights. He had knocked out all of his victims. But that's not all of the fighters involved in this story. Oh no, stick with me. Both Zarate and Zamora had been managed by a fella called Arturo Hernandez, a cold-hearted old-school operator. Hernandez sold Zamora's contract back to Zamora's father. Now that is a snub in any sport and any language. In the world of Mexican boxing, well, people die for less. Anyway, Zamora went on and won the world title to prove Hernandez wrong. It was bitter. Zamora Sr. was not a happy boy. The fight was hard to make. Warring factions were difficult to deal with. The two sanctioning bodies sent their killer-eyed men in silk suits from their offices in Caracas and Mexico City. They travelled in vain. It was stuck. Nobody could agree terms. The fight would never happen. A Californian boxing fixer called Don Smooth Fraser stepped in. He delivered the fighters a massive 125 grand each, a record for bantamweights. The Z Boys, as the press dubbed the two tiny punching assassins, would fight. Not a 15-round unification match, but simply a 10-rounder. Nobody expected it to go the distance. The riot police were heavy on the ground on the night, their scared eyes wide in the shade of the visors on their white helmets. They mingled with the 12,500 fans. The place was heaving. It was all about Mexican pride. I know people that were there. They swear they have never known anything like it. I believe them. Let's be honest, I do know a few fibbers. Ding ding, slow opening for 53 seconds, and then a geezer in grey Y-fronts and a white vest vaults over the ropes. The boxers pause. The referee, Richard Steele, talks to the mad invader. There's 10 seconds of stillness. Then a dozen riot police with white helmets, guns and sticks jump through the ropes and launch the Y-fronted invader over the top rope into about row C. It turns out that Y-front man can't fly after all. Box on, Steele hollers, and the fight continues. The men had work to do. And then we get the fight we wanted. Zamora knocks Zarate all over the ring for the remainder of the first and second round. Short, sickening left hooks and concussive rights. Zarate is reeling, but trying to get his jab working. It's beautiful, it's classic. In round 3, Zamora had slowed, and Zarate's accuracy is changing the fight. Right on the bell, a short right, and Zamora is down. I can only imagine what was happening inside the fabulous forum. It ends in the 4th. Zamora is dropped again. Nobody is in their seat at ringside. Zarate backs Zamora to the ropes. 6 vicious punches later, and Zamora goes down, out face first. But it's not over. Alfonso Zamora Sr. jumps through the ropes and throws the white towel of reluctant surrender on his son's stricken body. He doesn't bother to bend down to check if the boy is okay. He walks straight across the ring to Zarate's corner. In Zarate's corner, Arturo Hernandez is climbing through the ropes to accelerate when bam, 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 Zamora Sr. clocks him. The riot police are back in the ring. The corners are throwing punches at each other. The crowd, well, what do you think? It's over. Zarate is the Prince of Mexico. He wins in 71 seconds of round 4. Now that is a night of sport. I love this story. It's true, by the way. Indeed, that was a night. What a night that was. You've listened to